Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Kaylee, and this is
Shoot the Vows. And today we're in a brand new space.
Look at us.
We're in our new studio. If you can't tell, Kaylee likes plants.
Just a little
So
bit.
until we get our shelves and other various fixtures in, we're just surrounded by jungle.
We love the jungle. Fresh oxygen, okay? What can you hate about it?
Okay, that's fair. So today we're actually going to be talking about the cocktail hour and everything that happens within that, hour, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an hour. So for cocktail hour, I think one of the main things that people do is they get their photos taken, right? So like you just got married, you had your ceremony. Most traditional weddings, you're not going to see the bride until the ceremony. The groom won't see the bride until the ceremony. But nowadays, everyone's doing first looks. So it's almost like 50-50. I notice my couples are doing either are doing a first look or are not doing a first look.
They're either very traditional about it or just kind of like, I don't care. We're just here to enjoy the day.
Yeah. And then I've even had some couples where I've actually convinced them to do a first look. Like Sarah and Bill, we just had them on and they said they weren't going to do one. And then I got into their head. But it is a really special moment to have. So the biggest difference between doing a first look or not, though, is if you end up doing a first look, which is not what this episode's about. If you are considering it, check out that episode because we did a full episode on first looks and I'll link it above. But for the cocktail hour, you will actually be able to enjoy it and spend time with your guests if you do a first look and you do your photos before.
Because you get to have your bridal portraits and all that done before the ceremony rather than during cocktail hour as it's typically done.
Yeah. So you could do it a few different ways. My favorite as the photographer who's working hard all day long is actually to do the first look and then the couple's portraits and then the bridal party, but then save the family for after the ceremony.
Right.
Because it's a really nice thought to think that your whole family will be there before the ceremony.
But
sometimes sometimes people run late or they forgot something or maybe a baby didn't take a nap and he's extra cranky. And, so it's nice to have everyone there. They're going to be there for the ceremony.
Right.
So do it right after the ceremony. And even if that only takes 15-20 minutes, you still have, half an hour for your cocktail hour.
And you still get to spend the time at the cocktail hour mingling with everybody because you only took that 15-20 minutes of that family portrait time. So I think that's the benefit of the first look right there because you do have more time to get those bridal portraits done. And then, then the sun sets and you can get those golden hour pretty photos. And, that's after the cocktail hour and everything like that. But I think the first look, that's a good way to help give you that time during cocktail hour.
Yeah, I also always say if you have a lot of guests coming in from out of town, maybe you want that cocktail hour because when the DJ's really blaring the music and it's really crazy and everyone's drunk. Mingle. Yeah, it's harder. It's harder to sit down and talk to them for a minute about how they've been and all of that. So I like to do the portraits before the ceremony. But anyways, if you are doing your portraits during the cocktail hour, you want to keep your guests entertained.
Oh, yeah.
As best you can. So make sure that they have some hors d'oeuvres, something to snack on. And if you're having more of a budget wedding, you don't have to go crazy. You could do some fruit, cheese, crackers.
Charcuterie boards, whatever. Call it a day.
Yeah. But I've seen some really nice, some like extensive, a lot of the nicer venues will have actual servers coming around with hors d'oeuvres. Right. And they always have the best, tastiest. I'm always like,
I'll take a couple of those.
Don't mind if I do, but so plenty of food, plenty of drinks. You do not have to do open bar, but have something offered unless you're having a dry wedding. And then also if you're getting married in the summer or even the fall or the late spring, consider lawn games. You could do cornhole or something like that. My friend, when he got married, they had like giant Connect Four.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. My husband won every match that we played.
I've seen people do have word searches and the coloring pages. So the kids can do the coloring pages and the grandma and grandpa can sit there with them and, do the word search.
Yeah.
Having and, have them customized towards the wedding and not just, just anything.
Yeah. Having, kids tables too, or I've actually seen like just game tables where you just like grab a board game.
Board games. Yeah. One of the weddings we did had that, and it was really cute. Not that I saw anybody utilize it at that wedding. I think everybody was the party crowd. So
well, we were also taking pictures while they may have been playing.
Yeah, because it was cocktail hour if they were playing. So during the reception itself, they didn't get played. But like you said, during cocktail hour, I think that's prime time for the games.
It's definitely like nice to have some sort of icebreaker, because there might be people there that don't know anybody else and they feel so awkward. So having something for them to do, or even something for them to interact with other people, but in a way that's not like, hi, I'm so and so. It's so awkward. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. So definitely keeping in mind your guests and their experience always. We did a whole episode on that. I will link that above as well. And we talked a lot about the cocktail hour in that episode. Also, when is your cocktail hour? Like, what time of day? When is the sun setting? Do you want sunset portraits? Are you going back out later that night for sunset? So it's like something to think of as well as like timing as far as the whole timeline. Another really important thing you need to consider is if your reception is in the same place that your ceremony was in, your venue is going to need time to rearrange everything. So always coordinate with them. They'll let you know usually how much time they need and how much time you have for cocktail hour. Some venues are literally just like, this is what you get.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So a lot of times you're on their timeline. So you have to consider that, which if it's a shorter timeline and you have a ton of family photos you want to take, you have a bridal party with 10 on each side, you're really going to need to consider doing a first look and doing some photos before the ceremony.
Which, and even if they decided against the first look, you can still kind of do your bridal portraits and, you know, your groom portraits. You can kind of do those separately, but you won't be able to get them all at once. And that's where you're going to struggle with your time right there, your cocktail hour, if you want to enjoy your cocktail hour.
Yeah. And then also, you could go too long with a cocktail hour. If people are sitting there waiting for you for over an hour and a half and it's really hot outside, you know.
I don't know that I'd stick around too much longer either.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about it in a lot of the episodes, especially the guest experience episode. You just have to consider your guests and their comfortability level, because if they're not comfortable, they're not going to stay.
And I hate to say it, but their age too, like that makes a difference. Like if you have an older crowd, they're not going to want to party till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. That's just, they're going to be leaving probably about 6, 7, 8. It's just what it is.
So if you do like a 6 to 7 cocktail hour because your ceremony was at 5:30, then and you have a lot of older folk, then they're not going to stay for a lot of the reception.
Right. So maybe push your ceremony a little bit earlier, and, you know, allot for a little bit more time for your cocktail hour to be a little earlier too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's pretty much it for cocktail hour though. Just keep in mind the timeline of everything. Keep in mind your photos and when you want those done. And then just always think of your guests.
Make sure you have your hors d'oeuvres, your drinks. Make sure you have things ready to go for your guest, because, again, that guest experience is very important. You don't want, again, the DJ to ruin the guest experience, or, you know, not having enough food or whatever it may be. We have seen that a couple times, but...
Okay, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. As always, if you have any topic requests or comments, drop them down below.
We'd love to feature your ideas in the next video.
Subscribe.
Bye, guys.